Hello, my name is Parag Saxena. I'm a automation software test engineer. Basically, we provide the online and offline training classes for the automation testing course. Today is my first lecture in which I'll be discussing the introduction to the automation testing. This is the introduction class in which we'll be discussing in detail what all topics we will be covering in our course curriculum and how it will benefit you in your career enhancement. So first of all, as you, I think you must already be familiar what is automation testing, but still we'll start with the concept of what is the need for automation testing. Like for example, if I go to this website, Amazon, Amazon.in, and I want to search some product over here. Say I am searching for sunglasses. Now I am getting the results for this sunglasses. Now what I want to do, I want to test that I should get the result for combined sunglasses. Here you see, it is sun plus glasses as a combined. I can get the result for sunscreen, sun cream, or say beer glasses. It means it can search sun separately and glasses separately. But what I want sun plus glasses as a combined. You see over here, it is saying that it has got 30,000 results for sunglasses. I have written space in between, but it has taken it as a sunglasses. And I get the result for this sunglasses. Now, if I do it in a manual way, so in a manual, I will write this particular keyword and then manually I will look that what products I am getting, which is if I want to check 30,000 results, it will be very time consuming process. Also, I cannot recall it whether I have tested it or not. Similarly, I can search many products over here, and for many products I have to repeat the manual process again and again. In this, so this is what I'm doing. I am doing the functional testing of a search. That is, my search is giving me the correct result or not. This is, I'm doing the functional testing. Now again, one more thing, when I get the result, here I am getting the prices, product name and the price. This is the data presented to you. So it means this data is coming from the backend, which is presented to you. If some person has entered the wrong information in the backend, I will get the wrong information over here also. Like for example, the actual price of this PC star was 890 and this product price was 253. But if the person has entered the wrong information, I will get the wrong information. For example, you get a CBSE result. Your math marks you received scored say 78 marks, but you have scored 87 actually. But when you do the retesting, that is whether Hannah, like you say that my I have done very good paper, I should score above 80 marks, but I have got 78, and you go for the retesting of your examination marks, then they uh, identify the mistake. That is, actually you have scored the 87, but by mistake they have entered the 78. So so it means whatever the data is there presented on our web page is coming from some backend resource. So again, if I want to test all these information, whether all the prices are coming in a correct way or not, then it is again lot of efforts to be required, time consuming, team size which is not economical. I I can be biased, like I can miss some records, manual error can come, and again for many products it will keep on. I have to keep on doing in a manual way. So it means database testing, functional testing, database testing. Again, one more thing is UI testing. Like I am opening this particular web page on my laptop. Maybe another person is opening on iPad, another person is opening on iPhone, or any other device. Hence, there the size of this particular image, the font size, etc. All these information will change according to the screen size of the device. So if I want to test this particular UI, whether this UI is responsive or not, so if it's a manual, then I have to open this particular web page on multiple devices to check whether it is responsive or not. Similarly, load testing. Like here, if I say I am doing the logging, say I want to log into this site, and when I enter my mobile number and I click on this continue button, I will get a OTP. So I'm not the only person who is logging on to this particular site. Now, what is functional? Functional testing is that when I'm entering the mobile number and click on this continue button, I should get the OTP. That though it means functionality is working in a proper way, I'm getting the OTP. That is a functional testing. But what is performance or load? If many people are logging, like 100 people are logging, what is the response time? How much time it is taking to generate the OTP if 1000 people are coming? Now, manually, I cannot monitor the performance. I cannot say, okay, Hannah, 1000 people you Hannah, log in and I will monitor your performance. Some things are out of human efforts. Like 24-hour, I cannot monitor this site whether this site is working or not. 24 hours, I cannot monitor it. It is out of human effort. So, where there is a repetitive process, or where we say uh, some things are out of human effort, or I want unreliable and unbiased result and economical, faster results, then we can say we can go for the automation part. And automation is not only the functional. It is functional testing, it is UI testing, it is database testing, it is performance testing, and it is also API testing. Okay, so many web applications and mobile applications are using some kind of a API. Now, what is the API? Say I'm on Amazon site only, and it says that if you want Amazon account, you can log in by Amazon account, or otherwise you can also log in by your Gmail account or payment gateways. Like when we go and we go and do the payments, then it will give you the option to pay by Amazon Pay or Google Pay, and when I click on it, I will get the interface of my bank. So it means it is using some banking API to access the banking site. Like Make My Trip. When I go to makemytrip.com, I enter that I want to go to Bangalore. I get the airlines information for SpiceJet as well as Air India as well as Indigo. So it means it is sending the request to the multiple airlines and receiving the data. So they are using the API. So API testing means my API is secure or not, security. My API is performing in a proper way or not. My API is functionally working properly or not. So that is called API testing. So it means there are when we are doing the software testing or web or mobile application testing. So there are different levels we are doing. We are not just doing the functional. We are doing the functional testing, database testing, security testing, UI testing, your API testing, and all of this we can do through the automation. Now, when we talk about the automation, so there we can do the automation by using a tool or a library. Now, what is the difference between a tool and a library? Tool means which is in which we do not have to write any program, in which we do not have to write any code. Everything is inbuilt. like MS Office, we download and install, and when we want to click on bold, we just click on bold button, it becomes the bold. We do not have to write a program to make it bold. Everything is inbuilt. Like there are many tools available into the market like Tosca. If you see what is Tosca, so Tosca is a again one of the uh, uh, tools available through which we can perform our testing. Like and for API testing, we can use Postman or SOAP UI. For performance testing, again we can use LoadRunner, Rational Rose. So many tools are available which we can use. So, but if I compare Tosca versus Selenium, or there is one more Catalan, Tosca and Catalan. These both are the tools. But if you compare it, both of them, Tosca versus Selenium, you will see that tools are generally license bound and we have to purchase them. Okay, basically, when we talk about the Selenium, it is 100%, it is open for UI, and it is 100% open source. Basically, you do not have to. You can check from here. Uh, okay, so basically, what we are saying that tools are generally license bound. We have to purchase them, and they are hardware and software dependent. Okay, like it's a Mac machine, then we have to take a uh, version for the Mac version, because Windows version will not work on the Mac version. So it means we have to make our system dependent. The tool which we are using, and it is also not cost effective and not flexible. It means we can use only those features which are inbuilt. So when we are talking about the Tosca, Calaton, or any other tool, then you'll see that I will see if I get the result difference between Tosca and Selenium. So you see, uh, Tosca model is automation, which means we create a model test and generate cases for contrast. You can check from there. So you will see that basically they are generally cost. You can come at this is a cost. Tosca is a commercial tool that requires licensing fees. In contrast, Selenium is an open source tool and is available free. Okay, so when we are talking about this Selenium, it is open source and it is free. Whereas if you go for this HANA tools, they are generally license bound and you have to purchase them. Now, when we talk about library, so library means we actually have to write a testing script by using some programming language like Java or Python or C Sharp or any other programming language which it supports, and it is not license bound, it is not hardware software dependent, and it is 100% flexible. It means whatever you want to do, you can do it. Like if I go to the official website of Selenium, it is not a it does not have predefined ready to use features. Okay, like Tosca or any other tool. We just where now we get ready to use features. We do not have to write a program, but here we have to actually write a program to do certain things, whatever we want to do. So if you go to the Selenium Studio, so you see uh, it says that it automates the browsers. Automates the browsers means it only automate the web applications, and it is used for the functional and regression testing, UI and database testing of the website only. Now, if you look at the documentation part over here, so you can see from here that it supports multiple languages like Java, Python, C Sharp, etc. And actually, we are writing some program like here. If you want to open a Chrome and open a website, then we can write a program using the Java, and it is importing the Java based library. And if it is Python, we can also write a program in Python or C Sharp. So it supports multiple languages, and actually we have to have the fundamental knowledge of Java or Python. Like if you want to work on Java, we should have a fundamental knowledge of Java. Then only we'll be able to write it. That is, you can say, is one of the disadvantage. But uh, uh, one more thing, we do not have to be uh, like very much expert in programming. We do not need the programming skills. We are not developing anything. We are only doing the testing. So we do not require the enhanced knowledge of programming. We only require the basic knowledge. like like we are cooking a food and we are tasting a food. There is a difference. When we are cooking a food, that is preparing the food, for that I require the extensive knowledge and expertise to cook a food. But when you are tasting the food, then you do not require that much knowledge. You only require the basic understanding of the food. Same thing is happening where we are not using the Java to develop the thing. For that we require the very good knowledge of programming and advanced Java, etc. But when we're talking about the testing, we are using the Selenium library, for which we are using the basic structure of the Java, object-oriented programming concepts. We have to understand, which even the person who does not have any programming knowledge can do. So we'll be starting our training session from the Java itself, so that even the person who has not done the Java before can do the Java. Now, some questions come to the student's mind, which is, one is, which is good, Java is good or Python is good? Like we can write a testing script by using Java or Python. Some people say, sir, we want Python. Some say we want Java. So which is good? That is the first question comes to the mind. And second questions come to the mind is that if my project I am automating is a Java project, then I will use Java language. But if it is not a Java project, it is a Python project or C sharp project, then I have to automate using the C sharp. Then I have to learn the multiple languages. The answer to second question is that we are doing black box testing. We are not doing white box testing. When I'm going to Amazon.in again and I'm searching something like an again sunglasses, so I'm taking the control of the front end. I do not know what code is written behind it, what language it is using. So basically, that is a code, that is a white box testing. Who tests the code? Developer. But as a software test engineer, we are not bothered about that particular thing, what is written behind it, what code is written behind it, what language it is using. We have to just take the control of this web page, take the control of this text box, enter the data, click on the button, and check the result, that is expected results are coming or not. That is all. So you can use any of the programming language. You can use any one of the programming language and can automate any kind of the website. That is a that you do not have to worry. You can learn Java, you can learn Python, you can learn C sharp, any one language, and you can automate any kind of a project. That is the first thing. Second thing is, which is better? So as per your this thing also, you see, Java is given the preference. Java is a platform independent, portable, and object oriented programming language. We say Java is a language for internet. And when we are automating web and mobile applications, we require the platform independence and security, multi-threading features which Java language provides. Again, when you look at the tutorials available on the web, Selenium tutorials or APM tutorials, when you search on the web, or so you will see 80 to 90% tutorials are available are Java based. Again, when you go for the job portals like Monster, Naukri.com, Indeed, etc., and you search automation jobs or Selenium automation jobs, you can search and you will see what is the requirement. So you will see that approximately 60 to 70% jobs are Java based. Why Java based? There is another reason behind it. That is, when we are designing a testing framework, like if I write what is test ng, so you see what is test ng. So test ng is a testing framework. It is a testing framework. And if you see what programming language it uses a Java as a programming language over here. Or say if I write what is Jenkins, Jenkins is again a automation server. Okay, Jenkins is again a Java based program. And you see what language it is using, again it is using Java as a programming language. If I go for the performance testing and I write what is JMeter, it is used for the performance testing. Then again if you see it is 100% pure Java application. So basically when we are designing a not only Selenium, but when we talk about the Cucumber BDD framework or yeah, TestNG framework, or we require the continuous integration delivery using the Jenkins, all these are supporting Java as a programming language. So hence we say because of the jobs required, because of the support on the internet, and because this Selenium also is actually developed by the Jason Huggins and Simon Stewart. So they have used Java as a programming language. If you go for the history of the Selenium, okay, so we will say that Java is better for us. Okay, you can do the research on your own also, and then you can like decide which language you want to go for. It is not compulsory that you should go for the Java only, but it is better as per my knowledge. Now, I think you have understood what is the difference between a tool and a library. Tool means with which we do not have to write any program, any coding. We can just download, install, and use it. But they are generally paid and costly. Whereas if we compare it with the Selenium, then we say we are writing a testing script by using a programming language, and Java is one of them, and one of the best if you take my suggestion. Now, uh, again, I'm going to another side, that is APM. Selenium automates the web applications. But if I want to automate the mobile, like Amazon app or calculator app, because many companies are now making apps also, or they are some are making apps only, they are not making the website, because apps are easy to use. How many people go for www.gmail.com or www.facebook.com? You have a app of Facebook on your mobile, app of Gmail in your mobile, you just use it. So we have to test the functional and other performance testing and other UI testing of the mobile applications also. Now Selenium, as we have discussed, automates the browser only. It automates only websites. Now if I want to automate the mobile application, then it is the APM. Okay, again APM is a extension of Selenium only, you can say. If you go and write a test, if you go for here also you can use multiple languages like Java, Python, Ruby, .NET, C Sharp. It is also supporting multiple languages. Again, it is a library only. It means we have to write a program. If I again go for the Java and example, so you see over here, in this example, it was opening the new Chrome driver. It was opening the Chrome. And if you look at it, here it is new Android driver. Or if it is a iOS, then it is new iOS driver. So it means it is a library only. And here it is using APK. Just a second. Yes, here it is APK. And here it is opening website www.selenium.dev. Both are the libraries. It is used for the browser where we are writing a URL, and here it is using for the app like APK. Okay, or IPA if it is a iPhone. Okay, so Selenium and APM. both are connected to each other. So we should have a knowledge of both of them. One more thing, that what is a framework? Like if I go for Flipkart and if I go for Amazon, again, both are e-commerce website. Flipkart, Amazon. If on a Flipkart I am searching, say sunglasses only, I am getting the result for the sunglasses. Where I am getting? On a Flipkart. Again, if I go for Amazon and again I get search for sunglasses, again I am getting the result. So it means both the websites are having the same features. So if I want a test framework for e-commerce site in which I want to test this particular search result, then I can write code one time and that code can be reused with Flipkart and that code can be reused with Amazon. I just have to change the data. The data means which web page I want to automate, or I want to change the input, say LED. Same program will work with LED. This is called data driven framework, in which we are making a reusable component which can be reused with a multiple different inputs. That is called testing framework. So it means we are making a complete framework for e-commerce. And if I'm making a complete framework for e-commerce, I it can fit Flipkart, it can fit Amazon, it can fit Mantra or any other e-commerce site, because test cases are more or less same. So for testing framework, as we have already shown you, there are two testing frameworks available with us, which is TestNG and Cucumber. Okay, so TestNG, so I've already told you. So and one more thing is called uh, Cucumber, Java, Selenium. If you see, okay, so it is the combination of Selenium with Cucumber. So it is again a testing framework which we can use with a Selenium or APM. It is a framework. Cucumber is a framework. And if you look at the Selenium or Cucumber framework, it is coming in the Java only. All the things which you see are coming step definition. If you look at the step definition, it is using this Java language only. This is a Java program only. Okay. So we will be using two testing frameworks. One is TestNG, which I will just shown you, and another is Cucumber BDD framework, in which we will be integrating Selenium and APM together. Now, again, one more thing, API testing, I told you. Selenium or APM can do the functional testing. They cannot do the API testing. For API testing, again, there is one more library available which is called REST Assured. REST Assured is a Java library, you see, Java library, which is used for testing the RESTful APIs. So again, this is a, so when I say that I am testing some mobile application or web application and they are using some API, so we have to test the API also. For that, we will be using the REST Assured. So REST Assured website, again you can check. I think it is. Uh, let, I can Google it. It is REST Assured. This is the REST Assured. So you can check from the docs from here and you can study it. So REST Assured, like APM is a library, Selenium is a library. Similarly, REST Assured is a library for testing the REST based APIs, and it is again a Java based library. So we'll be working with Selenium, we'll be working with APM, we'll be working with API testing using REST Assured, and we'll be designing the testing frameworks using TestNG and Cucumber, and we'll be also doing continuous integration and continuous testing. So if you see, again I'm writing what is continuous integration and continuous delivery. It is a constant flow of software updates into the production. That is called continuous integration and continuous delivery. Okay. All that is when a developer is developing a code, we should immediately test it and integrate it. That is called software continuous integration testing. And what are the continuous integration testing tools available? So you see, Jenkins. Jenkins is a automation server. Okay, these Jenkins is a automation server which perform this continuous integration and continuous delivery. And Jenkins is also a Java based server. So these are the things we will be covering. When you, it's not a coaching center, actually it is a company basically. Now again, if you look at my URL, it is by the name of RM Infotech Private Limited. It is a IT company in which I am working. It is RM Infotech Private Limited, and we are working in IT development, IT consultancy, and IT training. And we are working since 2005. This is our IT training in which we are also registered with Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, as well as you can look at the company registration number, you can, and company TAN number and PAN numbers, everything is available over here. You can verify it. This is our address. We are located in Delhi NCR region. Okay, you can Google map, you can also Google us. Like if you go to the google.com and you write RM Infotech, RM Infotech Private Limited, so you will get our result. You will get the Google map also. You will get our result in Just Dial. LinkedIn ID, you can check our LinkedIn ID account also, and other and many places you can check from our record. Economic Times, so you can check from here, and you can also check the reviews. So you can go to the Google reviews and you can check our reviews also, which are available. So we are working since 2005. Regarding the software automation testing course, you can go to this training and then go to this software automation, and this is our complete course curriculum. Okay, so we will be starting, as told you, we'll be starting with Java, and after Java we'll be working on the Selenium. We will be working with TestNG. I told you about the testing framework. We told you about the Cucumber. We'll be working on APM. We'll be working on Jenkins. Okay, this is our course curriculum. We'll be working on the API testing. JMeter we will be not working. JMeter is there, but JMeter we will be not working. Okay, that is not a part of our curriculum, but API testing is part of our curriculum. Jenkins is part of our curriculum. APM is part of our curriculum. Cucumber is part of our curriculum. Maven TestNG framework is part of our curriculum. Selenium is part of our curriculum, and Java, core Java is part of our curriculum. This is our then basically course content, and duration is approximately 35 to 40 working days. You can take it on a flexible timings, like you can take on the weekend, Saturday, Sundays, or you can take regularly Monday to Friday with the flexible timings as per your choice. It can be group based training program, and in group there will be approximately 3 candidates or 4 candidates at the most, and you can also take the individual training program, that is one to one. So it is up to you. You can take one to one individual or a group based training program as per your choice. And with all the training sessions, we'll be giving you the notes and the recorded videos, and we will be giving you the access to our pre-recorded videos also. Like here, if you see all the topics which we will be covering, so we have already video recorded them, all the topics. So you can also, I will give you the access, user ID and password with a lifetime access, and you can watch the videos lifetime, and these videos are updated on a regular basis. Okay, And after the completion of this particular training program, we'll be giving you the training certificate, which is a government recognized, and we'll be helping out in the placements also. Okay. So now, if you want more details, then you can contact us on, and this is our, you can WhatsApp me, or you can directly fill up this inquiry form, or like the numbers you are available, so you can call me up. Okay, these are the numbers available. This is my mobile number, 9810926239, or this number, so you can call up, or you can mail us on these email IDs, and you can schedule a trial class for you. This is an introduction class which you have already watched. Now if you want to like take one or two sessions free of cost, so you can take the Java sessions free of cost, and you can fix up the time when you want to take, and then we will be available as per your requirement. And if you're satisfied, then you can register yourself for this training program. Thank you very much.